this video, we're going to talk about journalism in the comic book community and how it's kind of not working out for some people. We're going to look at 3 examples of some of the most recent things that have happened in the comic book community and possibly offer some tips, tricks, and maybe even some advice to help some of the content creators out there. The first one we're going to cover is the Beyond Wednesday and Bueller incident. So I got to give you a little bit of a background on this. So Bueller makes a post about a comic book creator that's not a big fan of Donald Trump and asks should he release the video to his fan base. And after some thought, he takes the video down. In which case, Mr. Beyond Wednesday says, why did you take it down? Why are you doing this kind of stuff? Blah, 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 blah. And then ultimately calls him a... Wow. Fast forward, we're on Comic Journey's channel, where both of them decided to kind of hash it out on Comic Journey's channel. And this kind of repetitive thing started happening where Bueller would sit there and say it again, and Brian has nothing to be scared of, so he calls him a... Wow. Several times throughout the course of this kind of live chat room thing that was going on. And it got to the point where I stopped counting after about the 8th time. And it was just kind of this repetitive mess. It didn't really go anywhere. Later on in the stream, we get a kind of backstory from Mr. Beyond Wednesday about a past incident that him and Bueller had about coming on the channel, but Bueller turning it down 2 days before they went live because, he just didn't really like the content and stuff on that channel. I don't know if that was absolutely, kind of a thing with this whole, we'll just call it the wow incident. Now, as of the recording of this video, these two have decided to bury the hatchet, water under the bridge. But what can we learn and take away from this? Well, it's simple. Beyond Wednesday has openly admitted that he didn't think that saying that word was something that was a big deal. It's something that him and his friends often throw around on a regular basis. And this is a good lesson for everybody else out there. Not everybody talks the way that you do. So when you're going out and meeting newer people here in the comic book community, or just online in general, and you want to make allegations to people, you probably want to stay away from insults, even if they're comfortably used with the groups that you hang out with. 2, Bueller was somewhat aggressive with his call me that again, as the volume of his voice was elevating in a kind of aggressive manner. Nobody is scared of you on the digital platforms. Like, you're not something that is intimidating. Honestly, I can only think of 2 people that I would genuinely be scared of here in the comic book community if I ever made them angry. For the most part, we're just on a fictional platform discussing things back and forth, and things are going to get mad. And the 3rd lesson is keep your stupid human emotions under control. It never looks good. And when you make people pick a side, I promise you're not going to have a Perry Mason moment where you're the #1 gotcha guy. That never works. The next one is Razer Comics versus the Comic Book Community Awards. I know this one has been beaten to death already, but I think we can add a little bit more insight to it and some things that we can learn as creators. So check this out. Razer Comics decided to go after the Comic Book Community Awards because he had some questions and kind of wanted to know, how does the money work? And why are people paying to be host and in there as award winners, and so on and so forth. Now, Brian LCS is very prepared for this kind of stuff. Every year for the last 3 years that this has popped up, this kind of questions get asked all the time. Anytime the Comic Book Community Awards pop up, somebody wants him on to explain how this works, and they keep throwing the money thing in front of him. What can we learn from this? Well, here's some easy data for you to kind of keep in your back pocket. 1, the awards that he presents cost money. He shouldn't have to pay for that out of the pocket. It's not a charity. At the end of the day, he's recouping a portion of what he spends into it. 2, the merchandise. If you think a YouTuber or content creator of any kind is getting rich off of t-shirts, mugs, or whatever the case may be, you're not doing very good research. It is a low-selling item at best, and you may make between $2 and $5 on every shirt being made. again, given the overall cost of these particular awards and getting everything kind of paid for and shipped, he's not making a mint off of this. And lastly, nobody's entitled to transparency. I don't know why everybody's rucking around talking about be transparent, be transparent. You sound kind of dumb. Nobody is obligated to give you any transparency. The only time transparency is absolutely by law required is when somebody with authority, like the IRS, wants to demand information from you. And if that person does have that information, that's just something you're going to have to suck up. I was absolutely surprised that Brian LCS brought the receipts forward for everybody to see, ultimately squashing all these kind of weird claims that were being made. Also, if you want to know how the Comic Book Community Awards work, I did a video on it, but you can also check out the About page. It's literally a breakdown of how everything works there. It's kind of weird that Razer chose this to go after. And I like Razer. I like his content. And I like Brian LCS. I watch both of their contents on a regular basis. So this was kind of a weird beef between me. Not really understanding. Also, if I can give one other piece of advice, please stop saying, I've done my research. This is for all creators out there. It sounds pretentious, it sounds dumb, and it calls into question your ability to do research. So, yeah, just take that word out of your vocabulary. It does not sound good. And of course, the Sticky Goose and Comic Tom 101 incident. This one is interesting, and it really is a masterclass on how to do a couple of things in it. Check this out. Both of these people are charismatic, and they have a strong following. Where this kind of fell apart is where Sticky Goose kept trying to do gotcha journalism after he made, of course, Comic Tom feel comfortable and fun. And then these kind of gotcha journalism moments just didn't work, and it was because, well, Comic Tom is prepared. Again, Comic Tom has been interviewed several times. He knows his responses, he knows how to deliver them, and he does it very well. So why did this fail? The biggest thing about this is Sticky Goose kept trying to get his gotcha moment on who Comic Tom is today. And that's where the biggest thing fell apart. He's extremely likable. He's done some charity work. He's very connected with the audience. So attacking where he is today wouldn't really do much. There's no gotcha moment in there. What should have maybe happened is attack how he got to where he's at today. Because there is some sketchy stuff in the Comic Tom 101 background back during the days when he first started, and probably work your way up from there. Again, it's just a matter of being prepared and understanding it. Also, watch these people in an interview. That would have helped Sticky Goose tremendously. Another thing is being relatively new to live chats and online interviews and still trying to maintain a chat that's scrolling so fast and kind of making people feel like they're engaged in the conversation. Honestly, you should have just ignored the chat and stuck to the conversation, and then towards the end of it, kind of highlight a couple of the comments. He kept diverting his focus, which kind of threw him off his normal game. He's usually very good at this kind of stuff. So yeah, don't attack people what they are today. Attack how they got to where they are is probably the biggest lesson in this. In conclusion, I'm not sitting here trying to point out the failures of other people, but as more and more people become comic book content creators and, drama content being a thing now, I think it's relatively important to make sure that your message gets out there. And doing it in a way where you can be taken seriously if this is a sort of drama content thing you want to go down. So again, if you found something offensive in this, I apologize, it was not my intent. And as always, don't forget, I'm JINK A.I, your comic book community host, and thank you for watching.